You know that moment when a video freezes? When the frame locks and no matter how long you wait, it never moves forward? That's a glitch in your computer, a temporary malfunction. You refresh and it's fixed. But there are coordinates in space, actual physical locations you could travel to, where you become that frozen frame, permanently, forever. You'd be trapped in a single instant of time, stretched across eternity, unable to move forward or back, conscious, aware, stuck. These aren't sci-fi metaphors, these are real coordinates, and if you went there, time, as you know it, would end. But before we look at the cosmic graveyard, where time literally turns into solid crystal, we have to travel 26,000 light-years away, to a place where your reality is forced to split into two contradictory truths.
At the center of our galaxy sits Sagittarius A star, a supermassive black hole. Its event horizon isn't a physical surface, it's a mathematical boundary where escape velocity exceeds the speed of light. Here's what science fiction never tells you. From the outside, you never see anything cross that boundary, ever. If you fall in, your clock ticks normally. In less than a second, you cross. But to anyone watching you from Earth, you slow down. Your fall decelerates. Einstein's equations are absolute. As you approach the boundary, time dilation approaches infinity. 1 second for you becomes centuries, then eons for the rest of the universe. You freeze. Your final moment, hand outstretched, eyes wide, becomes eternal. You become a frozen statue of light locked at the edge of time. The universe creates two equally valid, contradictory timelines for you. Inside the black hole, you are already gone, falling toward death. At the surface, you are frozen forever, never to finish falling. Gravitational time dilation can freeze you from the outside, but there is a coordinate much closer to Earth where it isn't gravity breaking time. It is a temperature so unnaturally low that it turns the river of time into frozen honey. 5,000 light-years away sits the Boomerang Nebula. Temperature 1 Kelvin above absolute zero. The coldest known natural place in the entire cosmos. Here, a dying star expelled its gas so fast that it cooled the region below the temperature of empty space itself. At this level, molecular motion effectively stops. Time, at its most fundamental level, is measured by change in entropy. But at 1 Kelvin, change dies. Ions in your neurons would move so slowly that a single thought would take eons to complete. One neuron firing might require years. It's like an hourglass submerged in freezing honey. The sand still falls, technically, but so slowly that a billion years and a single second become indistinguishable. And here's the existential dread. You wouldn't die there. Death requires biological processes, cells rupturing, proteins denaturing, but those require energy. At 1 Kelvin, there is no energy to drive death. You'd be perfectly preserved, a statue of yourself, locked in an amber made of absolute stillness. The Boomerang Nebula turns time into a frozen crystal. But if you think that's terrifying, wait until you see the massive void where the universe's rendering engine simply ran out of assets, turning time into an empty, unrendered room.
700 million light-years away lies the Boötes Void, a 330 million light-year wide hole in reality. It shouldn't exist. By all laws of physics, this volume should contain 10,000 galaxies. It contains only 60. It is empty, like the universe forgot to render this chunk empty. Think of the universe as a simulation where time advances by processing events, stars burning, atoms colliding. In the void, there are no events to process. The global clock ticks, but nothing local changes. It's like a clock running in a completely abandoned, empty room. If nothing changes, did time really happen? If you were trapped in the center of the Boötes Void, you would be living in an eternal, unchanging present. You're so far away from the rest of reality that by the time the light of the outside galaxies reaches you, those galaxies have already died millions of years ago. In the void, time idles because space is empty. But what happens when you enter a cosmic whirlpool where space itself spins so fast that it forcibly drags your timeline toward tomorrow, making it mathematically impossible to stand still? Every rotating black hole has a curse zone called the Ergosphere. The closest to us is Cygnus X-1, 6,000 light-years away, spinning at 99% of its maximum possible speed. A spinning black hole literally drags the fabric of spacetime around with it, like water spiraling down a drain. Inside the ergosphere, standing still is mathematically forbidden. Space-time itself is rotating faster than light. To stay in one place, you would have to move faster than light in the opposite direction, which physics forbids. You are forced to move. But it gets worse. The direction space-time rotates is futureward. You're not just being dragged through space, you are being forcibly dragged toward your own future. Think of time like a waterfall. On Earth, you drift gently forward at 1 second per second. In the ergosphere, the temporal current is a raging cataract. There is no reverse, no pause, only the compulsory drag of space-time pulling you into a tomorrow you cannot resist. The ergosphere forces you into the future, but if you cross deeper into the core of the dead stars that create these gravitational traps, gravity becomes so dense it physically destroys the concept of you before a single thought can finish.
Neutron stars are the collapsed remnants of dead suns. The gravity at their center is 200 billion times stronger than Earth's. Matter here is compressed to a density of 1 billion tons per teaspoon, reality's maximum difficulty setting. At the core of these monsters, gravitational weight causes time to run 30 to 50% slower than on Earth, but you wouldn't experience this time dilation. Think of your body like a detailed book. Every molecule is a page, every atom is a word. At these densities, the universe puts that book into a hydraulic press and crushes it until all the pages merge into a single, featureless subatomic disk. Your atoms are ripped apart. Your electrons are forced into your protons, transforming your entire mass into a generic, friction-free quantum fluid. It is a place where time slows down under the sheer weight of collapsed reality, but you stop existing as anything capable of measuring it. A neutron star core crushes your timeline. But all of these locations are just local glitches. There is one final destination, not a coordinate in space, but a coordinate in time, where the entire universe runs out of frames to render and time itself dies forever. This isn't a place, it's a win. Time, 10 to the 100 years after the Big Bang. The final epoch, heat death, the moment when the universe runs out of usable energy. When every star has burned out, every black hole has evaporated through Hawking radiation, and entropy reaches its theoretical maximum, nothing can happen anymore. Time is fundamentally tied to change. The arrow from past to future exists because entropy increases. But at maximum entropy, there is no change. The arrow of time has nothing to point at. It's like a film reel reaching the final frame. The projector keeps running. Time still exists mathematically, but there are no more frames to show. Just an eternal, unchanging now. But here is the final, mind-breaking twist. In this infinite dead eternity, quantum fluctuations are still random. Given infinite time, anything with a non-zero probability must eventually happen, including you. Random chance will eventually assemble a perfect copy of your brain out of the chaos. It will think one fleeting thought, experience a false memory of a life on Earth, and dissolve back into the dark. Statistically, in an infinite timeline, you are more likely to be that random quantum hallucination dreaming right now in a dead universe than a real human living in 2026. Welcome to the most cursed place in space, the end of time, where the clock still ticks, but the universe has run out of things to do. Forever. 6 coordinates where time stutters, breaks, or dies. These aren't fictional horror stories. They are measured, verified physics. And at each one, the one constant you thought you could rely on, time, becomes something alien. But the true horror isn't just that time can stop in space. It's what happens to your physical body if you ever approach the edge of these anomalies.